I guess I just want to ask your opinion on whether a strong dollar is important if you want to continue to have the benefits of being the world's reserve currency.
I think that the terminology of a strong versus weak dollar is counterproductive to understanding the macro forces that shape the U.S. economy and the world economy. It's not a question of strong is weak is a pejorative term in most people's minds. The issue is whether the dollar is overvalued, and I think it's fair to say that most economists believe that to be true. An overvalued dollar will lead to fewer exports, more imports, a higher trade deficit, and slower growth. The question then becomes, what do you do about that, if anything? And that discussion will happen when it involves me behind closed doors, not publicly. I think right now it's conventional wisdom in Washington that China has basically adopted an economic model which harms the United States. After they joined the WTO, we lost over 70,000 factories, over 5 million manufacturing jobs. That's the conventional wisdom today in 2019. I wrote a book about that in 2006, which basically today reads like any government report on the Chinese economy. So at the time, I was widely ridiculed in newspapers like the Financial Times, and I was accused of hyperbole. And today, that book is quaint in terms of describing the problem. So do I worry about people who criticize me for not seeing the chessboard correctly? No, I don't. I was accurate. For example, I'm a macro forecaster by profession before I got into Washington, D.C. I forecast the housing bubble. I forecast the stock market crash in 2007. And so, no, I don't mind being ahead of the curve. Donald Trump was ahead of the curve on trade back in the 80s. And now here we are.